Welcome to iCarly.
Keeping it. This is the new iCarly.
The trick with them, none of us are in.
Bitch now.
Say bitch. Welcome to the D3 podcast. This is your host, Matt, joined as always by John, Kevin, and Sam. For once in fucking weeks, we are all together, boys. How's it going?
It's good.
Doing great. Suns and 4 didn't happen. So a little upset.
As the most anticlimactic.
Suns and 5 still on the table, though. So
yeah! Suns and 5! All right, why don't we get up to the top with the NBA updates? We have Team USA struggling in back-to-back losses in exhibition matches. Can we just really quickly just say who here cares about exhibition matches? Anybody?
Not USA.
Yeah.
Yeah, except for
everyone, not America.
Basically, it looks like on Team USA, it's Greg Popovich and Damian Lillard, and then everyone else is just there for vibes.
Yeah. Katie's just chilling on the bench, just I
think Zach LaVine had 8 points in one of the games, so there you go.
That's impressive.
Well, no, that's cash money. I think KD's the leading all-time Olympic point per game person for the U.S. at 19 or something. Olympic scoring is weird. They just there's so many good players, so they just tossed around. But
yeah,
they suck this year.
Yeah. So USA lost to Nigeria and Australia. Boys, just really quickly around the clock, should we be nervous or does this really matter? I'm on the side of I don't really think this matters. John?
It's hard not to Australia is actually a solid team. So that game makes a little more sense why it was tougher. But yeah, I'm not that nervous. I think that it's gonna come around when the games start actually mattering. We just saw Kevin Durant do the exact same thing in the NBA season, so why would we?
We like to call this the LeBron effect.
Exactly. So I still think Team USA is probably going to win the gold, but I don't know.
Hey man, they have to go against Slovenia, so who knows what's going to happen. Kevin, what side are you on?
I am on the side that this doesn't matter that much. I think most of them, like John said, most of them are there for the vibes. I think Pop cares, but they don't have anything to prove at this point. They know how good they are. So I don't think they're gonna try and go super hard or injure themselves or risk injuring themselves. So I think they're gonna take it easy anyway. So I'm not concerned at the moment.
Yeah, Sam, do you want to talk about your boy Pop going off on a reporter really quickly?
Yo, I mean, I'm just saying, fuck reporters sometimes. It's just
yeah.
Look, we love media, but at some point when you have no repertoire, you just shut your fucking mouth. Shut your fucking mouth. I just feel it was just more disrespectful because Pop was literally talking, and that guy kept countering and saying hey, my question, I was trying to say this, and I'm like, dude, just shut up, let Pop just be Pop, okay? You can't argue with Pop, so why try? You're just gonna lose at this point. I don't think we should be concerned at all because this team has the best scorer in NBA history. I mean, we just know that, Kevin Durant. Yeah. These guys did just come off from back-to-back tiring seasons, with Kevin Durant still coming back from an injury and still balling out for no reason. Don't know why, but hey, maybe because LeBron, Space Jam 2. But I mean, they're missing 3 players, right? There's no Booker, there's no Holiday, there's no Middleton. Obviously, I'm not saying these guys are holy shit juggernaut players, but I mean, it takes some weight off of it. And these guys are they're only pure, it's made of pure scorers for the most part. And so no one knows how to facilitate at all either. And I think we should have respect these nations have gotten better too. Nigeria's 5 they have NBA caliber players. They're not all-stars, they're not superstars, but I mean, the people they're people who know how to play basketball. And I just think the reporters' question about, being dominated by, back in the day, you guys used to dominate by 80 points, and now you're barely catching up. And it's well, it's not a really good comp because that was an 8-year ago comparison where you had, Steph Curry peak, maybe not peak, but on the rise Steph Curry. You had Melo, you had the best LeBron James we ever seen in our life. You had best players. That's why you were destroying these teams. So, I mean, a lot of these guys have never been to the Olympics, so it's like it's just a learning curve for them, and who cares? I mean, it's bucks and six.
The fuck?
Do you guys think it'll be weird for Devin Booker and Drew Holiday and Chris Middleton to all have to play with each other right after the finals? Like,
oh, that's super weird. That is super weird.
That feels like a toxic workplace. Like,
that's like 1 year at the end of the season, like your boy like is going out with a girl and then she breaks up with him and then she starts dating with another guy that's on the exact same team as you. Like, there's gonna be some resentment there, I feel like.
It's gonna be weird.
It's gotta be weird. All right. On to the next one. There are two big. I say that very loosely. Which one do we care about more? John winning the prediction game or Jamal Mosley signing for head coach of the Magic? Anybody want to answer that one for me?
Number one, baby.
Oh God.
I would like to say Kevin did have a great head start. He won the first two predictions, and then it kind of fell apart. I'm not gonna lie. I'm just saying.
I think it's a miracle that I won. I thought I was wrong about it.
The best part is that the last three predictions, we were all completely wrong. So I mean, that's kind of what happened. I'd like to also say Matt called 76ers in 5, just saying.
The one fucking year I show the 76ers some respect, and they just shit all over me. Like, come on, man. I should know better. I
don't think any of us had a team in the fight, because most of us did Lakers Nets. I don't think any of us had a team in the finals that made it out of round 2.
That's so true. Oh my God. That's very depressing, not gonna lie.
But anyway, I'm excited to cash in on my prize. We'll figure it out because it seems like Top Shot, as we kind of maybe assumed before, has already kind of imploded a bit. But we'll
most likely, yeah.
We'll see what's going on. It looks like you kind of have to it's weird, but I'll cash in. Don't worry.
I'll cash in. Don't worry. Listen, Jamal Mosley, signing for a head coach of the Magic. Sam, do you want to give us some insight into that?
It's clear that no one wants to, coach Luka at this point. Just such a deep
bros. No, they were bros. And in fact, Luka to the Magic next year. He's going.
Wow. Hey, Luka Magic, right? It's perfect. It's a perfect,
exactly.
Perfect trademark at this point.
The literal new emblem for the Magic is just going to be Luka shooting threes. Like, that's just going to be their thing now.
I mean, I think Jamal Mosley is from what I understand, I'll be honest, I don't really know much about him besides recent news with his relationship with Luka, and obviously, I mean, Luka loved the guy a lot, and I think there was obviously some hope that he would be the head coach, just keeping that same tie. But our boy Rick Carlisle, endorsing Jason Kidd, who I don't even know if he threw his name out there to begin with, but he was just like, "Hey, this guy, fucking great coach, I promise you."
Yo, he's
gonna tell Luka to hit him again one more time. He's gonna spill the Gatorade all over the court, which I give props because I feel like that's more entertaining than just asking for a review at this point and getting a free timeout. So hey, give Jason Kidd props there. But I mean the Magic we all know are just a bunch of young guys again. They dumped everyone. So I mean Jamal Mosley is probably similar to Kenny Atkinson, people who know how to build youth. They're not Stan Van Gundy's or Steve Clifford's who just yell at people who are just veterans, try to get the job done. It only works if you're Tom Thibodeau. That's all I gotta say.
Really?
Coach of the year. That's right. Coach of the year. But I don't really know what to make of this. I mean, the Magic's kind of a carcass at this point because you have two of your best players had torn ACLs. Best players as in Markelle Fultz. Who thought I would say that? Best player, Markelle Fultz.
Yeah, that's rough.
Jonathan Isaac coming back from injury. But my boy.
You're getting one guy. Wendell Carter Jr.
Yeah, what are we talking about here? Wendell Carter Jr., man. He's the best on the team.
Hey, look, he's going to be sitting on the bench soon because my boy Mo Bamba, he's stepping up.
Oh, my God.
We've been waiting. Mo Bamba in the making, okay? Mo Bamba in the making.
Listen, boys. Listen, this guy Jamal Mosley, the guy who, like Sam said, haven't really heard much about him. him or Becky Hammond. Look, I'm just saying. Which one?
I don't want Becky
better
to.
head coach.
Becky does not need to work in Orlando. She deserves so much better.
That's fair, though. That's fair. I'm just saying. When you're looking at the two people as coaches, I'm just saying Becky is a much better person. Anyway, Kevin, any hope for the Magic next year?
I mean, I think there is a little bit of hope because I think they got rid of some of their big contracts, like the Vooch contract. They dumped that off to Chicago. And I think they're kind of in that rebuilding mode. But we'll see if anything pays off. I think this Jamal Mosley head coach pick is a gamble, I guess, because none of us really know much about him and if he'll be a good head coach. But the Magic still got a lot of work to do. So if they can get some pieces together, if they can make another big trade or something like that benefits them and gets them some good player, then maybe there's some hope. But I think it's going to be iffy.
Listen, all I got to say about that, Kevin, is Wendell Carter Jr. is now your future. Listen, boys, Pelicans looking to hire Willie Green, Suns assistant coach.
Cool.
Yeah, that's kind of where I'm at right now. I mean, I guess that's cool. Are any of us really super hyped about this?
Probably just like, I think that young teams like hiring coaches that are like,
you can say that don't know what they're doing.
They just like young teams. They like hiring coaches that are like very much vibes guys, and so that's how Fred Hoiberg had a job for like.
Oh shit! God. I forgot he was a person.
Yeah, so young teams love that. I'm sure that Willie Green's a cool guy. Maybe Zion will love him. I don't care.
Yeah.
What I care about is the next bullet point.
Yeah, which is it's so this is one of those things like in English class that you like it's a sentence where it's just like, oh, this means more than what you're seeing. They're looking to let go of Lonzo Ball to free agency, which in my professional opinion means he's going to Chicago. I mean, that's just like right there. Listen, Lonzo Ball to Chicago. Let's make it happen, boys. Let's make it happen.
Stop it. Stop this.
No.
He will be a New York Knick. Okay, stop
it. Get the fuck out of here with your Knicks, Sam.
Chicago, such a big marketplace.
John, do you want to take the floor on this one?
Lonzo Ball will be a Chicago Bull. He will be the first confident point guard we've had in a very long time, and he will mean the world to me. I'm rooting for him. I hope Chicago doesn't blow it. I know the Clippers also want him. Kevin, I don't know. What do you think? Do you think the Clippers should – where should Lonzo go, Kevin?
I mean, I love him, love the idea of him in Chicago because, like you said, Chicago's needed a good point guard for so long. And that would be so great. But
who was the last great point guard? Sorry, was it BJ Armstrong? Is that the last great point guard?
It was
Derrick Rose, motherfucker. Yeah, what the fuck you talking about?
I don't know, man. Look, you guys are living in the past. How many rings does Derrick Rose have? How many rings?
Mr. New York Knicks over here, why don't you take a look at who was rocking shit on the Knicks, man? Our boy Derrick Rose, baby. Let's put some respect on his name. Kevin, obviously we would like him to see it, like him to be on the Bulls. Do you think the Clippers have a chance of getting him? Like, what do they have to play with right now?
I mean, they have Kawhi Leonard and Paul George.
Oh, yeah, to the Pelicans, 100%.
Yo, the Clippers have no loyalty. They'll throw away Paul George or Kawhi if the price is right, without hesitation. They don't have any loyalty. They just want to win a championship one time in their life, and they're never going to do it.
Wow.
I like that. I like that statement.
It's good heat. It's really good heat for the show, let me tell you. Ratings through the roof. Hey, Sam. The sex market is going up, baby. Pornhub stocks through the roof. I can't believe you made me say that. I really can't. I said nothing.
Look at me. Why you look at me when you do that? That's why, because I'm brown. You seem to just enjoy all this stuff. Exactly. That's what I thought.
Sexton is getting interest from several teams: the Knicks, the Bulls, the Spurs. Listen, all I'm gonna say is, Sam, your two favorite teams are on this list: the Knicks and the Bulls, or Knicks and the Spurs.
Wow. Let's
make Sexton. Let's make Sex go to the Knicks and the Spurs. God knows that they have needed that for so long now.
Only the Spurs had a point guard. Fuck. Wait, they have 12.
I need the 13th guard. I don't think you understand. We're desperate, okay? I'll do a sign and trade. Screw it. We'll just do a sign and trade with DeMar DeRozan. All right, we'll just make it happen. But I know a lot of rumors with DeJounte Murray being like gettable per RC Buford. I don't know if I wouldn't want Colin Sexton personally. I just don't really like his gameplay. I know we talked a little bit off the pod about Colin Sexton's actual skill set being not that great. But you know who he would be great on a team like the Chicago Bulls. Someone should be able to take him and then destroy a dynasty over there that's happening. You got 9.5 rebound superstar in the making at this point, and I think Colin Sexton would be an excellent compliment piece to just waste another franchise. Am I right? I'm just here for the heat. All right, I'm here for the smoke.
I can't wait until you, Patrick Williams, his first All-Star game. I'll have you buy me a jersey.
That jersey's gonna cost hundreds, man.
But you're 16 in the EuroLeague. Is that what we're talking about?
Wow.
Okay, that's what I thought.
Who's like the Spurs guard that every Spurs fan is like, don't touch this one. This is the guy we want to keep around.
I mean, of the seven, I feel like, obviously, I think DeJounte Murray is like pretty hit or miss for the most part. I'd say Derek White or Lonnie Walker at this point would be like the lovable ones. Lonnie Walker doesn't even play that much, but like he has the 2 highlight dunks, and you're like, this is the greatest guy of all time. And I'm like, I need more Walker in my life. But I have heard the Spurs are willing to trade DeJounte Murray and Derek White and their pick to move up in the draft. So maybe a team like the Pistons, they mess up and they're like, DeJounte Murray is like the greatest guard of all time. Why would they trade this? Like, bet. And I'm like, okay, sweet, done. The guy couldn't even shoot a 3, and he still can't shoot a 3. And we'll get one of the best point guards to hopefully one of the best point guards to of this draft. So I'm okay to move on with anyone. I just want someone. I'm willing to give away 5 guards for something more definitive for our future. Because DeMar DeRozan is not going to stick. No one's going to stick besides Patty Mills. I think Patty Mills is the last person from the championship run, and I love Patty. You can't be wrong with Patty. So he beat the USA team single-handedly. So.
Listen, Olympic Patty Mills is another fucking beast. He is.
Apparently, look, all I'm saying is, as soon as the Spurs don't have like the 7 deadly sins of point guards, I'm going to be very, very upset. Kevin, John Collins' market is starting to heat up. The Mavs, Heat, Spurs, and Timberwolves are all interested in this situation. Any idea of what a good team would be? Do you want John Collins to even move? Like, how are you feeling about this?
Hey, Mavs could use a good big. Wow, I can't talk. Mavs could use a good big man because KP sure ain't it. And he might be a good. And John Collins is one of those guys that needs someone else to be the main guy, but he's a really, really, really good like secondary big man. So I think him and Luka could be a good combo, possibly. And they got to get KP out of there, so that could be good. He maybe. I think him and Bam might be fighting for the big man spot a little bit, so I don't know if that would completely work out. I don't know. Yeah, I like him for the Mavs the most out of all of those. So at T-Wolves and Spurs, I'm like, meh.
Yeah, I guess for one, I don't think he would like what competent player would want to go to the Timberwolves or the Spurs is beyond me.
Dang.
Damn, Sam. I'm sorry, buddy. I'm sorry. Look. Okay, let's just say like he gets traded to the Heat. Who like who gets traded for him? Probably like,
Tyler
Tyler
Hero,
Hero,
okay.
probably. Yeah. Because
All the white guys you got, get them over to Atlanta.
Yo, Dragic too?
Hey,
Yeah, probably.
Dragic plays 3 games a season now. Okay, we don't really talk about it. A dragon sleeps now. The dragon sleeps.
The dragon sleeps. The dragons are now almost extinct. Yeah, and I don't really see like Bam and John Collins like fighting. I feel like the Heat would find a way to put them both on the, because positionless basketball, it's barely a thing anymore. But yeah, I mean, I guess that's just my take on it. John, do you see John Collins going anywhere, like making a huge impact? I'm sure you would. Actually, would you like to see him on the Mavs?
For like a max contract, probably not. Like, I don't know. I don't think that, like, that's the kind of thing where I'm like, if they make that signing, like, maybe Luka won't stick around after this next contract. I don't know. I don't think that, like, it's just like, that doesn't feel like, if they can get him at a good price, sure. It doesn't feel like John Collins is really kind of like the swing that they need to be taking right now. I think that like they should be, try to like build up your roster around Luka as much as you can to like make them like a competent team like that. Maybe you could run it back with KP one more time if you really want to. Try to trade him if you can, and wait until there's a better free agent market, basically. Until like,
yeah.
I don't know. I don't hate it though. He'd be a fine fit. He'd be good.
Yeah. There's no disrespect for John Collins. It's just like which team is going to be the best fit for him, essentially, which is just a very interesting.
Atlanta. So we'll see.
Atlanta. Yeah, I feel like Atlanta's perfect for John Collins. Sam, we've got some very disrespectful things going on with Becky Hammon. Knew that Portland wanted Billups. Why is she not the head coach, man? Like, this is something that I feel like a lot of people wanted to see. Becky Hammon, head coach for Portland. Disrespect?
I mean, disrespect, but I think we all knew that if you're going to make Damian Lillard happy, you have to get one of his boys, and it's got to be a point guard at this point. So it's either Jason Kidd or Chauncey Billups. I mean, I think it's weird because no one really knows how to gauge Becky Hammon's skill set besides just being under Pop, which I think carries a lot of weight because a lot of great coaches came from Pop. We got Ime Udoka as Boston Celtic head coach, Brett Brown at some point, Quinn Snyder, Monty Williams. But like they're all playoff contending coaches, so they know what they're doing at this point. Bud, we'll talk about it later, but I don't know if it's just like they don't know how to gauge her. I mean, I think it's just clear like sexism at this point. Like, there's just a lot of old white guys. I'm just being honest. Yeah. Like old white guys just being like, she doesn't know what she's doing. She's just a woman. And I think I could probably name like 15 positions she could probably be good at. Number one being the Kings position. Luke Walton heads on the chopping block because you don't know what you're doing at this point. And Vladdy's gone, Paige is gone. So it's a new organization. Time for you to move on, but. A lot of these like not so great teams and young teams. I'm glad she's not with the Magic personally because I don't know how to handle that situation.
Sure.
But
yeah.
Obviously, I think with the spotlight, I think it would be really good for her and just like the message that she could bring. But I can also see it being like really overwhelming. So setting such a high expectation for her, like because she's in this market and because everyone praises her so much that she has to be like a great coach right from the get go. But I mean, shit, it's like anyone's first job. Like Jamal Mosley is probably going to get not roasted because he's coaching a Magic team. It's there's no expectation at this point, but I think there's actually 7 current head coaches that are under Pop. Like, and I think about it, I think there's actually 7 ones. Like James Borrego, you got LaMelo Ball now. I mean, there's definitely disrespect. I mean, you got Scott Brooks, being the like lead assistant, and it's like I don't know what anyone's doing at this point. It's disrespectful. I mean, I think she's gonna get the Spurs job at the end of the day. I think Pop is just like couple of years and then it's all yours. I think it's going to happen that way.
Yeah. Speaking of Damian Lillard, Kevin, how psyched would you be if he went to the Warriors?
I don't know. I feel like that would be a little weird with assuming Clay's going to be back in full force, Steph, Clay, and Dame, I feel like that's
100 points per game from the three of them.
See, I feel like each one of them would want to take the shot, though, and I feel like that's already like Clay and Steph have a good chemistry of like when each should take the shot, but I feel like Dame would kind of throw an imbalance in that, and none of them want to be a six man. So what are you gonna have 3 star guards out on the floor at a time?
That's a Spurs model.
No,
I don't think.
Some questions about.
I mean, first off, I don't think this is even like going to be possible. I don't think that they have enough to like get Dame, even with their picks and James Wiseman. I think if he ended up on the Warriors, everyone in the front office in Portland would get fired. As a fit, yeah, whatever. It'd be cool. Like you'd have basically the two best versions of what a modern point guard is. And they're on the same team and they have unlimited range. It would be fun. But I don't think it'll happen. I think that like I have a feeling that Damian Lillard, I don't even really think anymore that he's gonna get moved this year. I kind of don't know. I kind of feel like he's gonna stay out.
Yeah, it's a little interesting because he's just one of those players where it's just like you've been with a team for so long. Like, is it loyalty or is it something else?
I guess so. Then, John, is your argument then because there's no market for him right now to be traded for? Is that the only reason?
There's definitely always going to be a market for someone like him. If he was available, like people would try to get him. I just don't think that he actually would want to. If Dame wants to get traded, then maybe they'll trade him.
Mm-hmm.
I have a feeling that he's just kind of like gonna at least give it a shot this year, see how it goes, then head out. That's my guess. If he gets traded, I'm very interested to see what it would be for after we just saw like what it took to get James Harden, which was essentially nothing. And
James Wiseman and Draymond Green.
I mean, yeah, apparently that might be market value. I don't know. I don't know what Dame ends up. I have a feeling Dame is going to be in Portland this year.
Well, speaking of players going off to different teams, 76ers are not very happy with Ben Simmons. Round the podcast really quickly. Where do we see him going as a best fit? Sam, I'll start with you.
He's going to the Australian National Basketball League. That's what I'm talking about. It's tough. I mean, like the only place I can think of are the Warriors or the Spurs because that's the only person that will force him to build a shot because he has to go somewhere where he's either a face or someone that actually cares about his game or is willing to work on improving his game because I actually think Philly is a really trash organization now looking at it because it seems like they don't actually care about anything. Like Elton Brand's probably a horrendous GM. I mean, to think about this, they had a chance to keep Jimmy Butler, but they paid him under the max because they didn't think he was a max. And look where he is now, all right? That was the only thing that got him close to being a finals team, and they fucking blew it. And instead, they got max contract Tobias Harris. I mean, like, what else could you ask from him, right? I mean, I mean, I know Kevin, you told me you're going to be rocking a Tobias Harris jersey next season?
Yeah, let's go!
But, I mean, yeah, like my opinion is I think Ben Simmons has to go to a team that cares about improving him or he has to be a face of it. Like, it cannot be with Embiid because these guys are just not. I don't even know what they are. And Joel Embiid kind of ruined the relationship by saying, like, as soon as Ben passed it, it was game. And I was like, well, I wouldn't say that in front of a press conference, but hey, that's just me.
Kevin, where are you at?
I think Sam has a good point. I think the Spurs is a great fit because I think he does need to go somewhere to actually improve, and he's not going to improve in a decent amount of teams. Definitely not going to improve on the 76ers. They don't care. They're just going to blame. He's a scapegoat there. He's an easy scapegoat, and they can just be like, wow, Ben Simmons sucks at offense, so that's why we lost, even though that's bullshit, I think. So I think if he went to the Spurs, he could improve his offensive game a little bit, and that's really all he needs to be a really good talent in the league is improve his offensive game a little bit and stay as great as he is on defense. And I think the Spurs would be a great fit for that.
That's totally fair. I do think Sam's point of Ben Simmons going to the Warriors is interesting, just because you don't really need shooters on that team when you have Steph and Clay. So it's just like, who the fuck cares if Ben Simmons isn't shooting when you have those two guys? John, what about you?
Yeah, I also kind of think that the Warriors is interesting just because they already have that like Draymond role that Ben Simmons could kind of do, even though Draymond again will at least take a jump shot. Which, like, even if he's not making them, is still important because he'll take them. Like, Ben won't do it yet. Yeah, I don't know. All I know for sure is that I want people to stop fucking making fake trades where Zach LaVine is traded for Ben Simmons. I'm done with that. That's ridiculous.
You want a point guard?
Absurd. No, I don't want that point guard though. Maybe for Kobe White.
Yeah, definitely. That's fair.
No, but like Ben will be a good player as long as he'll like commit to he just needs to like commit to, I don't know, you just learn some skills offensively that will make him at least like a scorer that you have to guard, and then it fixes all their problems with him. So yeah, he'll get traded. As far as his best fit, I don't know. There's a lot of teams that are going to be able to convince themselves that like they'll be able to get through to Ben Simmons just because they'll be excited that like by bringing him in, they're getting one of the best defenders in the league, a guy who I think is like one of the best players in the league at assisting on like 3-point shots. I think he has like among the most assists on threes in the league. So like he is super talented. He's just like got such a massive glaring flaw that like he just needs to convince themselves that like we can break through with him, you know, like I can fix him. But
I can fix him. Oh no. Head coaches are just gonna be the fucking high school girlfriend who dates the bad boy.
It's gonna have to be it, because he's just got that one problem, and if someone can fix it, they're gonna get a really awesome player.
Am I hearing the Orlando Magic? Is that where you're hearing? Markelle Fultz was reborn. Is that where Philly players get reborn? I mean, Tobias Harris played there. I'm just saying.
Markelle Fultz back to the 76ers for Ben Simmons. Really quickly,
retire. That's all I gotta say.
Oh God! Really quickly, run the podcast just because this just came to my head. Who's got the better free throw shot, Ben Simmons or Giannis? Sam, I'll go with you first.
Yeah, I mean it's gotta be Giannis, right? I mean this guy killed it to talk about. I mean, they think about it. There's a whole tradition now built around just counting it. Like, what else could you ask for? With Ben Simmons, you just know he's gonna. It always hangs left. That's all I gotta say. It always hangs left.
Kevin?
Giannis, a hundo P. Like, I love that he's embracing that countdown too. He knows that he hears it, obviously. So he's just like, I'm just gonna wait to fuck with him now. So I respect it.
John?
Yeah, it's Giannis, because Giannis is not a coward. Giannis is not afraid of anyone or anything. He doesn't care what you think about him. Doesn't care that you're like, build a Giannis wall. He says, no, I'm going to run right through it. Put a back-to-back 40-point games on you. Get fucked. I'm Giannis. Like,
Speaking of back,
it's
great. It's great. Speaking of back-to-back to 40-point games, why don't we get into a recap of the finals? Game 2, the Suns just burned the Bucks 118-108. Giannis drops 42 points, 12 rebounds. Devin Booker with 31 points, 6 assists. Any key takeaways from this game, boys? John, I'll go with you first.
I mean, I guess like in the context that we have now, my takeaway is like the home team won the first 2 games. I guess knowing what I know now, basically, it's just that like it seemed like this was going to be kind of it was feeling like this series would be like LeBron's last run with the Cavs versus Golden State, where like Giannis is just going to put up big numbers and get absolutely like demolished because his team is incompetent. But now I don't really think that's the case because, and we're gonna find out tonight. Tomorrow night.
Tomorrow night.
Or I guess tonight for when this will be out. But yeah, we'll find out soon. Like if that is the case, the Game 4 will kind of be the defining moment. But I mean, look, Devin Booker's was really good, obviously. So that's really fun to see. And I think that was this the game also that Mikal Bridges had like 27 points?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah, Philadelphia, eat your heart out. I mean, it's cool. Like, I would love for these games to be closer.
Honestly,
kind of
that's so
takeaway.
bizarre.
Yeah.
Fun fact, the entire starting lineup for the Suns had 10-plus points. So that's really fun.
They're really good.
Yeah, they were really good. Chris Middleton had 11 on the Bucks. That's unfortunate. Lopez had 8. That's also unfortunate. You hate to see it. Connington had 14, so that's fun. Sam, any takeaways?
I think the big differential was threes. I mean, it was 20-9 basically. So I mean, like 33 points just off of 3, like with that differential. I think as we see in the next game, the biggest trash was Holiday and Milton. I mean, combined 12 for 37. That's really bad for what you call all-star talent. What I call all-star talent, sorry, because I know there's a lot of misconceptions about Miss Chris Middleton on this podcast. But look, Chris Middleton is very inconsistent, but he will have his 40.9. I'm telling you, it's going to happen in this series. But what's interesting is that DeAndre Ayton's only 10 points, like, wasn't as much as a direct impactor, but we, like you said, imagine like Mikal Bridges. You're seeing Drake Crowder get more active, which is something very rare. We haven't really seen that in the playoffs, besides from a defensive presence. But I mean, this was a D-book show at this point, so it was just really fun to see him go off. But we'll see. We'll see what the next game went. I'll just say that.
Yeah, seriously, Kevin. Any key takeaways?
I think, like Sam said, like Chris Middleton and Drew Holiday need to shoot better, and especially in situations like this. Like Chris Middleton was 1 for 6 from 3. If he had made 3 of 6, it would have been a 1-point game. Like, so those looks from him are really, really important. And I think whether it's he needs to do a better job at getting open, or just it looked like that game, it was really just he was choking a lot, and we've seen that time and time again from Middleton as being one of those inconsistent guys where he can come out, take control of the game if Giannis is out, and score 35 points or something like that. And then he can also come out and do this and shoot 30% from the field and 16% from the 3. So I think if they're going to win, they really need to rely on Drew Holiday and Chris Middleton as those second scorers outside of Giannis, because Giannis is doing his fucking job. Giannis is putting the team on his back. He's like, hey, let's go. Come on. I'm going to carry us to victory in the paint, scoring 42 points of basically exclusively paint basketball. So the rest of the team's got to do something to help them out if they're going to win.
Giannis is currently the smart kid in a high school group project who has to do the entire project by himself. Game 3 recap, baby. Bucks coming back 120-100. What the? What? That's a hell of a fucking fight. Let me tell you, Giannis drops another 40 points, goes 41 for 12, 41, 12 rebounds, I assume. Bucks go on a 16-0 run to beat the Suns. Mikal Bridges had a pretty bad game, to say the least. 4 points. It's not great, let me tell you. Oh, my God. Devin Booker had 10 points, which isn't great either. But you know who had a decent game? Bounce-back game from Middleton with 18, and a bounce-back game from Holiday with 21 points. Much better game for the Bucks. John, any key takeaways?
Yeah, the key takeaway from this one is that the Bucks play better when Chris Middleton and Drew Holiday are making shots. And you know, like, again, if Giannis is just going to keep coming out here and having these dominant performances, then those two just need to keep making shots, and they can very feasibly win this series. I still think the Suns are going to win the series, but they've been really struggling without Dario Saric. Like, oddly enough, him getting hurt has actually been like a serious problem for them. Having to play Frank Kaminsky in the finals is not ideal. And so, I think, I don't know, like, this series has been so difficult as like a fan because I really want like all of these people to win their first NBA championship. I like all of these guys. They're all great and they're good players, and like I want them to win for different reasons, but I'm still holding out for the Suns just because I don't think Chris Paul gets another chance at this. And after seeing how Giannis has been playing, I think Giannis will get another chance at this for sure. Like, I think this series has earned, instead of the group chat, but like has earned Giannis a year off from the haters. I can't wait. They're like, I feel like though, even then, like Giannis can put up like 40 points, 12 rebounds the whole series, and Skip Bayless will be like, well, he didn't win. Like, what else?
Bullshit argument.
What else can he do? So I think he's like 23 of 25 in the paint in the last two games.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
nuts.
He's been unstoppable. So that's my takeaway, is that Giannis is really good. And I hope that these games start getting closer, because I can't even really say it's been a fun series other than just like fun individual performances.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Honestly, though. Sam, Devin Booker, really, really rough night. He was 3 for 14 from the field goal, 1 for 7 from the 3-point. Really hate to see it for a guy who's supposed to be putting up points and was compared to Kobe Bryant. Tough look.
Yeah, no. I mean, like, I think people also just blow that reaction. Like, how dare you compare this guy to Kobe Bryant? And it's like, well, I mean, like, the way they play is like, I'm just like, very briefly, the way they play is very Kobe-esque. I mean, is he Kobe caliber? I'm not saying that, but I think that his play style is, give me the fucking ball, I'm going to make the basket. And then in Booker's case, I won't make the fucking basket. But I think, look, I'm just going to just wrap this up. But the Suns lost because DeAndre Ayton could not stay on the floor because he got 4 fouls, like, just entering the third quarter. And you can't have that. DeAndre Ayton has to be way more responsible. I mean, Chris Paul was at 0 for 13 when Scott Foster is the ref in the game.
Yeah,
So,
I think he's
Fucking bullshit.
I'm just saying, Scott Foster was
God.
out there for blood.
Scott Foster, man.
Christ, how does he have a job? Kevin, key takeaways?
I think I'm surprised. Maybe it's just like confirmation bias, but it seems like there's so much more advantage with home court advantage this year. And maybe that's because people hadn't played with full stadiums in so long. I mean, yeah, we got it at the end of the season a little bit, but now it's the finals and there's basically full stadiums of people. And it really seems to affect each team. Like, the Suns in Game 3 shot horribly. The Chris Paul shot horribly. Devin Booker shot horribly. Their free throws were under 70%, which is trash for them. That's normally a Bucks thing. So I feel like home court advantage is definitely powerful this series. So does that mean we're going to get a Game 7? And then the Suns are going to take it in Game 7 just because of home court advantage? I don't know.
Stirring the pot. I see it. I see you.
Why don't we get some Game 4 predictions, boys? John, what are you looking at?
I think this is so tough. I gotta say, I guess I'll ride with the Suns for another game, and then I'll just flip flop if they lose.
That's
I'm gonna go with the Suns.
Yeah. Sam?
Yeah, that's tough. I mean, we like the Suns. Maybe riding the Suns' coattails for a little bit. But it's hard, living in Milwaukee 7, 8 years. It's like you kind of betraying your boy. So because Suns in 4 died, we have to go with the next best phrase, which is Bucks in 6. It's time.
Oh, Kevin.
Could be.
Guys, it's easy. Bucks in 6. Bucks are taking the next 3 or whatever they need to get Bucks in 6. It's happening.
Yeah,
Actually, okay. I do want to say though, next game I do genuinely think the Bucks will win in Game 4, but I think it'll be a lot closer than this last game. I think it'll be within 5 points.
I hope so. I'm gonna have the Suns winning. I think Devin Booker gets his shit together, and they're just like kind of like out of their element for that one game. I think Giannis was just riding that high of like having people like on his back and just being like, yeah, I'm gonna fuck with these guys now. I think the Suns can pull it out. Like Sam said, if DeAndre Ayton stays out of foul trouble, if he can stay out of foul trouble, that'd be fantastic. But I've got Suns winning this. So it looks like we've got 2 Suns, 2 Bucks. Let's see what happens, boys.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you guys so much for listening to the podcast. This has been the Deep 3 Pod. You guys can hear us on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, wherever you get your podcasts. You also can see us on YouTube, as well as follow us on Instagram and Twitter. Thank you guys so much for listening to the show. This has been the 4 of us back together, baby. Woo. Enjoy 4th game of the finals. Peace out.
Check out our cameo in Space Jam 2.